Well, I find some cool things in dumpsters sometimes, you know. A couple bikes there, all, you know, just drove them off. There's nothing wrong with them. The seat was bent on one of them. Had to straighten the seat. Ouch. Found this thing in the thrift store the other day. We're going to talk about redistribution of wealth. I guess that's sort of related to redistribution of wealth, because in a very prosperous country, a lot of people just live out of dumpsters. Look at the Portlandia video on the dumpster couple. That's kind of funny, but pretty good note. $25 horn. Old. It had a bent bell. It's an old special from like 1957 or something. Pretty nice horn, I'd say. Anyway, you find people that, you know, I don't consider myself particularly rich. I mean, I'm missing teeth, and I drive a, you can see my car a couple videos back that I was making a comedy video about how us country folk get to drive cars with all these fine lines and all this stuff. Anyway, but you know, here's the thing. You know, I don't work just for money. I'm a Christian. I work to bless people and to try to show them that in putting their trust in God and a servant of His, that they get blessed. But other people have other motives, and I don't employ people because of the laws of this country largely. I mean, there's no motive for me to want to get into a relationship with a corrupt government and say, oh, I'll overlook that so that I can do this. You know, I'm not a compromise kind of guy. I don't do those kind of things. But right now we have just a really debacle of stuff, people being forced to pay into a system that means putting your security in society, for instance. I object to that completely, and I think everyone should, that people should not be forced to adopt the religion of a society that says we have to put our faith in society as our security. That's a violation of freedom of religion fundamentally. Now, you may say I'm a kook for that, but on the other hand, you're going to line me up and shoot me because I don't want to be part of it? Or what are you doing? Don't you see that's just like the Nazis? I mean, what's the difference? And anyway, redistribution of wealth. What's wrong with this picture? You see, the reason this country has a massive amount of prosperity is because people were given the freedom. Now, some of them had corrupt motives. Some of them may have just been pursuing an idea that maybe even God put in their heart. And, you know, other people had ideas and they thought, I can do this, and they failed. And thousands of people fail for every one person who, you know, comes up with an idea and it actually pans out. But that wind is screwing up the audio. Anyway, but so we've got, you know, this is the whole problem right there in a nutshell. If you do not give people ample ability to control their own destiny and to wind up reaping the full reward of what they manipulate to be their outcome. If you don't give them that freedom, if you say, if you reach this point, we're going to steal half of everything you make. We're going to put it into a system that provides for people, like giving me free teeth. I don't need your free teeth. I don't want your free teeth. I want people to have freedom to do what they see in their own heart that they should do, provided they're not out, you know, disturbing someone else, provided they're not fixing the game or doing things that, you know, the government essentially is doing, fixing the game in many ways. But yeah, is there a horn in my backyard? Anyway, if you give people freedom to have control over their destiny, they will sometimes venture out and do something astronomically cool, and it will provide massive numbers of jobs for other people. But if you do not give people that freedom, then what kind of fool is going to say, I'm going to take a 1 in thousands risk, put my whole life at stake, and pursue after this thing so that I can generate a corporation, maybe in this 1 out of thousands of odds scenario, that will provide employment for thousands of people? There's the problem right there. It's a dumb idea. Why are we allowing this person who is a blatant socialist to lead a good percentage of the country into thinking, hey, we can just keep escalating debt so other people did it in the past? It doesn't make it right. And the thing is, we are at a point of having more debt than we've ever had, and that should tip the scales and cause people to think, okay, maybe people are seeing it's time to deal with it because this is out of control. We can't deal with this. There's no future remedy for this other than being bought out by another country who has slaves or those kind of things, you know, just bad options all the way around. But you know, if you give people freedom, we might actually become a country where people develop plausible ideas and pursue them, and sometimes they'll fail, but occasionally somebody will succeed. But unless you put the carrot out and you say, if you succeed, you get to be a multi-billionaire. You get to do things that people would never think of doing in normal life. You know, you can't just say, hey, if you risk your life and go to all the work of doing what nobody else wants to do, we'll give you double the salary of a person who works at Burger King. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work, and countries that do that fail to be productive. And if they fail to be productive, guess what happens? Mass poverty. This is why third world countries are third world countries, because some little petty dictator was always there to say, well, if you actually succeed, I'm going to take everything you have and rip you off and kill your family or whatever, you know. Is that the kind of country we want to be?